Hello and welcome to the University Diaries podcast with me, Luke Smithurst. This is episode 1 in a new series that I have started that kind of serves as a retrospective look really at my time at university, because I've been thinking about it quite a lot recently, particularly with all of the troubles that we're in at the moment related to COVID-19. A lot of uncertainty really about what's going to be happening with the university systems. There's a lot in the news about freshers ceremonies already being moved online, and some universities not even coming back until July of 2021. So like it's been saying in the media really, it really is unprecedented times, and especially for the universities and education systems. And with all of this that's been floating around really, it's got me thinking back to my time at university and really what I managed to get out of it, other than, of course, my degree in the chosen subject that I did, but all of the other things that I gained along the way as well, the life lessons, the people that I met, the new friends, the new situations that I put myself into, all of which was completely a new experience for me at the time. I thought this would be a really interesting concept for a podcast for university students that should have been going to university this time, that perhaps are now feeling very uncertain about what they're going to actually be presented with. What are they actually going to get out of their quote-unquote university experience when it's all been made virtual? So with that in mind, I dusted off my old university diary, grabbed a notebook and a pen to make some notes, reached for my nearest microphone, and promptly set up the University Diaries, the trials and tribulations of a former university student. So you're probably thinking after this opening introduction here, well, what can I really expect from the University Diaries? And also, what can I get out of it as a listener? Ultimately, I want it to be a summary of my life at university, because along the way there was a lot of highs and lows, thoughts and feelings, friendships gained and also friendships lost as I think back to my times that I spent over the 3 years at university. And ultimately I wanted to sort of have a retrospective really about what was good about uni but also what wasn't. So with that as the objective, I'd like to kind of break down this series by dissecting each episode and dedicating it to a particular chapter of my education and ultimately what would be my life at university, and break down some of the things that I did whilst I was there, ultimately related to education as well, but also what I did in my social time as well, because as I was thinking of this recently, I realised just quite shockingly how there was a lot of stuff that was good, but there's a lot of stuff that I regret as well. And I'm not usually a person that tends to regret a lot of things. I've never looked back on any other stage of my life before and really had much regret about it, but particularly with university there are a couple of things that I just sort of want to analyse about myself really and figure out why I feel like this. It's most peculiar, and it's something that we will definitely be touching on in future episodes. But essentially we're going to be dissecting each episode to a particular chapter of my life at university and the things that I did whilst I was there. Ultimately as well, what I learnt socially, philosophically and culturally, and what that ended up leading to in terms of what I learnt about myself. So, whether you're a former student that's been reflecting on their time at university recently with all of these days spent inside, or you're somebody that's still trying to weigh up whether or not you want to go to university, I think there's going to be something here for everyone in this podcast, whether you just want to come along for the stories and the banter, or whether you want to use this as somewhat of a guide to help you determine whether university is really right for you or not. Together, we will be turning back the pages of my university diary. So I hope you enjoyed this introductory episode. Just before we cap things off here, I'm just going to give a plug to our social media. We are currently on Instagram. If you type in the Uni Diaries podcast, you'll be able to find us easily, and I'm also on Instagram as well, so if you want to look for me, I'm just Luke Smithurst. That's Smith with U-R-S-T on the end. It's all one word. It gets so confusing, you would not believe how many people spell it so differently. You can look for me on there as well. So we've got the Uni Diaries podcast, where you can find all of the updates about future episodes, etc, etc, or you can also follow me to see what I've been up to. I don't really post on there too much, but I'm looking to kick things up on there in the upcoming days and weeks. Also, this will be going on SoundCloud and will also be going on YouTube. So basically, we'll be stretched out across all of the different platforms where you can get all of your tasty audio goodness. So make sure to check us out on all of our platforms and social media. And I look forward to seeing you or speaking to you in the next episode.